Shalom unto the hopeful elect. Let me start off by giving all praise, honor, and glory unto the mighty Yahweh, Bahasham Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Rakah Kodash. Double honors unto the apostles and elders of a great millstone, and much peace and mercy unto the hopeful elect out there. It's the brother Ayak back at you again. This powerful word pushing it unto you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native and Seminole Indians, which are the children of Israel, also known as the chosen people of the Heavenly Father. All right, just wanted to get into a few things, man. We're gonna dive into Maccabees, first Maccabees, the 8th chapter, and go into a few highlighted points. And before we get into that, let me just start off with this, man, because in this truth, man, I quote this from time to time. But I remember hearing Apostle Kabar speaking on maturing in this truth, man. You know what I'm saying? And in life, there's levels to everything. Even there's levels in this truth. There's levels to maturing. So uh, you know, you will be very grateful and very beneficial for us to see those sides of maturity, man. And then they continue to mature and continue to upgrade in this truth, man. And I just want to get into a few things, man, because the things that we deal with and experience with our life, hopefully we're viewing those things with the right perspective. You know what I'm saying? Not only that, we have brothers to help us along the path, man. All right, and that's just a beautiful thing, and especially history itself. So let me grab this because when I dive into First Maccabees saved chapters, is going into some history of our forefathers and history of the rulerships, man. All right, because these heathens, man, roundabout, man, they all have got a chance to rule. You know what I'm saying? So like the scriptures say, Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth, man. When we rule, rule. I mean, forever. Like the scripture said, that the kingdom will not be passed off, into any other nation, man. We're gonna rule forever. Like it tells you down 2:44, man. When we rule, man, you heathens, man, you guys gonna get that reality check that y'all had y'all time, all had y'all 15 minutes of fame, man. All right, and that's kind of the history you go into when you dive into First Maccabees 8th chapter, which leads also into Daniel's what's that, the 7th chapter, I believe, going into the I think that's Daniel the 2nd chapter, going into the dream of Nebuchadnezzar. Actually, so that's what I'm actually thinking about. Going into those four beasts. All right, and you can see the backdrop of the beasts. Those four beasts right here, and what I'm reading in First Maccabees 8th chapter, man. So in this truth, there's just so much to grab. So it's a lot of learning, and that's why it's a never ending work, man. All right, there's always something to do. There's no, hey, I'm bored. I'm bored. You can never say you're bored in this truth. All right. So let me just get into the point, man. Romans 15:4, it says, for whatsoever things were written aforetime were written for our learning, that we through patience and comfort of the scriptures might have hope. So with the patience that we have to have, man, the long suffering, man. All right. And with that patience, we're comforted from the scriptures, man. And we have hope in the scriptures, man. Or we are those, man. We are those. That last line of defense, which is that pocket of resistance based on hope. It's totally based on hope and faith, man. All right, it's not based on how much artillery that we have stacked up and stockpiled up, man. All right, it's based on purely faith, hope, and trust, man. Those things are very, very important. Very, very important. You learn that the longer you're in this truth, you learn faith, hope, and trust are really important, man. Right? And all those things, go together hand in hand, along with the fear of the Lord and obedience, man. Those things and charity. Those are the top things in this truth, man. From there, man, you're off and selling, man, off to the races, man. All right, so so I can, man, still trying to get over this little bug, man. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, hey, gotta continue to push, man. It's our job, man. It's our job. So, Lord willing to be edifying that we're able to, that I'm able to feed the sheep, and we're able to feed the sheep, however that may looks, man. All right. Um, Let me dive right into this, man. This is First Maccabees 8th chapter. I want to dive into it because, when you're reading the scriptures, man, it's a lot of pages, especially for those that didn't grow up reading. For those of us that did not grow up reading, man, reading is like it's not really like second nature in a sense. You know what I'm saying? But we know in this truth, you have to read. You know what I mean? There's no way around it. You can listen to the audio Bible, but for me, reading is it ain't nothing like it. You know what I'm saying? Even the audio Bible, you're like, okay, cool, cool, cool. But when you're reading, it takes, a different type of concentration. That's just my opinion on that. So you have to read and going into Maccabees, man, it's like, I don't know, it's maybe the second or third time I went over it. But you got to continue to keep going over it, man. So when you're going over it, some things I remember, but some things you're reading it as if you never read it before. So you're like, oh man, oh you up in awe, like, okay, what's gonna happen? You know what I mean? As the story unfolds, especially going into Judas Maccabeus, because he after his father passed away, Mattathias, Judas stepped up in his stead. You read about the things that Judas Maccabees did, man. His father laced him up what kind of man, of what kind of man to be, and he was about it, man, about his integrity, about his people, about serving his power, man. All right, and hey, it's just one of our great forefathers to think about, man. How he had that warrior like spirit on him, man. All right, how he went through these cities and was not nothing happened to him, not even a scratch, man. He went through cities. He went to go deliver, his brothers that needed help, man. All right, it's the same thing today, man. We're not taking down people with our force like we read, here with Judas, man. But we know our people need help, and we do it by the power of the power of this heavenly word, man. All right, which is that life, which is that lifeline that's going throughout the four corners, man. That we are able to be able to assist on. All right, we labor, for those that to come into this rest, man. All right, we bid them to the marriage, and that comes with a multitude of incentives and pros, man. All right. So anyway, it's like let me just get into it, man. So we'll dive into it. First Maccabees 8 chapter verse 1. It says, now Judas had heard of the Romans. All right. So we're now we're talking about the Romans, man. So when you go into just the first Judas, Maccabees, the first chapter, it went into the was talking about the king of Persia, and then keep going. It goes into Alexander, going into the Persians to the Greeks, and then his four generals that took control, and then in the previous chapter you had Demetrius, which is the son of Seleucus, which is one of those four generals that took over. So just going, just giving you a segue into those kingdoms, man, a little bit. All right, and then before that, you can go into Jeremiah with the Babylonians. You know what I'm saying? So you have that. You have the Persians. Dives more into that if you want to dive into the Book of Esther. I think that's more in Ezra too. You just read the scriptures, man, and pray for understanding and continue to watch your elders and apostles break it down, and after time it'll all make more better sense unto you. So let me continue to go. So like I said, now Judas had heard of the Romans. So now you have the Greeks, which we're reading reading a little bit about, and now you have the Romans. All right, so you see all these different players, how they're running shit, man. Like I said in the beginning of the video, these other nations they're all gonna honestly say they had their little 15 minutes of fame, man. All right. Now Judas had heard of the Romans, that they were mighty and valiant men, and such as would lovingly accept all that joined themselves unto them, and make a league of amity with all that came unto them. And this is going into the history when I watched the breakdown of down the 7th chapter by Apostle Ramlab, and he was going into the difference between he was talking about how it's like I'm trying to make sure I have it right. I don't want to misquote the apostle, man. How the difference between how the Grecians ruled and the way the Romans ruled, and you segue the Romans, which today America is like Rome 2.0 all over again. You see the way they rule, and you can get a backdrop on you if you keep reading. Like it says right here, how they were willing to make league with people that join themselves unto them. It's the same. This is what made them be more, that much stronger because their might, their military might was so big. They had other forces, other nations inside their army. Not only that, but people would join into them, and he would make that league with them. And you're going to read a little bit more on it, to where you make a league with them, and they'll tell you, "Hey, we're going to make a deal. You like agreement with us, and anybody that harms you, will step in." All right, and same thing, they do that vice versa though. Anybody step up to them, you must come into their aid. So that's how they got down. The same thing with America too. He got his forces, spread out throughout the four corners with these different agreements, man. And the same thing, with the NATO and the EU, man. They had that same agreement with America, man. Anybody that messes with those particular people that made the agreement, America will step in to their defense. All right, so when you got this shit going on with Ukraine and Russia, all right, America is got that league with Ukraine, so they have to step in, and it's the same thing. They expect the same thing from Ukraine and all these other places that have joined in unto them. So you see this already right here with the Romans, man. All right, so we're just gonna go into just a few highlighted parts. Verse 6. So like it. How also Antiochus, the great king of Asia, that came against them in battle, having 120 elephants with horsemen and chariots, and a very great army, was discomfited of them. All right, this is Antiochus. So going into that the Greeks, you have Antiochus, Seleucus. I always forget the other two, but so even they had this great amount of people in the army, man. They was what? They was still discomforted by the Romans, man. Because Romans, they had they are very huge in their military might, man. You can just read through here. It says what they did in Spain. Um, they did to all these other countries right here that they you just read it right here. You got to read it for yourself. Like apostles always tell us, look it up or look into it for yourself. They discomforted many, man, and they overthrew many, man. All right, and they were taking people for what for their silver and their gold, all types of things. Same things you see America do today, man. These things that they were doing, the Romans. All right, let's see. They were taking hostages. Um, country of India, Media, Lydia, the goodliest countries, they overtook them, man. It says, so verse 9, moreover, how the Grecians had determined to come and destroy them. So then you have the Grecians trying to, destroy the Romans, right? It says, and that they, having knowledge thereof, sent against them a certain captain, and fighting with them slew many of them, and carried away captives their wives and their children, and spoiled them, and took possession of their lands, and pulled down their strongholds, and brought them to be their servants unto this day. So even though the Grecians, was determined to destroy them, they the one that got overtook, man. And the Romans, took, like we just read, took their lands, their children, and their wives, man. All right, and what to be servants unto this day, man. All right, it was told him besides how they destroyed and brought under their dominion all other kingdoms and isles that at any time resisted them. See, so they was taking over a lot all types of kingdoms, man. All right, and took dominion, man. And anybody that resisted them. That's the same thing, when I was reading this, it was the traits that going on in America too, man, how they did, Saddam and Gaddafi, and, that's what they do. They go on, not only them, but other people not, growing up, not read, because I never really was a reader, but I was more of a visual guy. All the videos and things, the research I did, you would hear how they would assassinate leaders and put themselves, people that puppets in the sense of their own in their play, man. Right? Why? Because they would do that if anybody that resisted them. And that's the same thing America do, man. You resist them, they figure out a way to take you out, and they put somebody in play that they want in play. That's really taking heed to them. All right, like the scriptures say, there's nothing new under the sun. All right, let's see. So therefore, when they did all these things, they had people afraid of them, man. All right, and the same thing with America is they have people afraid of them, not only by by their sneaky tactics and their warfare, but especially what they did with that bomb over the Hiroshima, man. All right, and hey, man, I just seen a clip of that recently, man. Hey, those Chinese, man, is extremely mad, man, extremely mad. When I seen a quick clip of that, man, when they showed those bombs was dropping down, man, they was they set people ablaze. Not only the people, but the many things, the minimum things like the pictures and photos that people have with their families. They destroy all that shit, man. All right, hey, these anyway, man. Just a side thought I was thinking, man. All right, they do these things. People that resist them, and this is also too the like it tells you with Esau going to Genesis 25th chapter, man. They should live by the sword, man. This is how they live by killing, man, by those instruments of death, man. All right, it says verse 13. Also that whom they would help to a kingdom, those reign, and whom again they would, they displace. Finally, they finally that they were greatly exalted. So if you look for people to help them reign, and anybody didn't want to, they would displace, replace them, and put their own puppets in there, man. Yet for all this, none of them wore a crown or was clothed in purple to be magnified thereby. So this goes into the changing of how things did with with the Grecians and the Babylonians. They might hand it to their son or whatever. This they did it different. They had it. They had it to where like we just read. It says they none of them wore a crown or was clothed in purple to be magnified thereby. Moreover, except how they had made for themselves a senate house wherein 320 men sat in council daily, consulting always for the people to the end they might be well ordered. So it's the same thing today, man. You have the Senate and you have the council and all this, and what it says, and that they committed their government to one man every year. See, so that's how the Romans did it. It's the same thing today, man. Now they don't they got the government, and they don't pick a man every year. Now they do every 4 years, and then he runs and try to run again for the eighth year. Then they move on to somebody else, right? Not like Russia, how they have the same president been in office 25 years. They don't do that. They do it. It's kind of very 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 similar to Rome. All right. It says every year who ruled over all their country, and that all were obedient to that one. So same thing right now. You have the president. All right, and they all will, if the president said, the president got to push a button. This is the same format that you see, man. All right, and that there was never envy nor emulation among them. All right, and so that's things change nowadays. The Heavenly Father got the Egyptian against the Egyptian, man. All right, Satan divided against Satan. What you have going on today, man. But this is how it was with the order that they have, man. Okay, this is the president. He's gonna call the shots. This, that, and the third, man. All right, like when you watch movies, hey, Mr. President, what do you want to do? You make the final call. That's how it was, with the Romans. All right, keep going. Verse 18, and to entreat. It's like, let me see where I'm at. Just want to make sure I get the backdrop so the understanding is there. Oh, okay, so with that being said, man, it said right here, verse 17. So, in consideration of these things, Judas chose Eopolamus, the son of John, and the son of Achos, and Jason, the son of Eleazar, and sent them to Rome to make a league of amity and confederate with them. So when you read it, you're reading it like you haven't heard it before. Like, oh wait, what? So this is taking place. So Judas, sent two men over there to go and make Confederate, because like we just read that, those Romans is willing to make league with you. They're willing to do that with that agreement. Right. So he sent those two out there to go chop it up, with Rome, right, and to entreat them that they would take the yoke from them, for they saw that the kingdom of the Grecians did oppress Israel with servitude. All right, so that's what's happening. It just goes into the Grecians, going into the Greece, man. But those Greeks, man, all right, that was what? Oppressing Israel, right? So it just goes into the breakdown of the four beasts right then and there, man. Right, the Greeks oppressing us, man. Eventually, the Romans oppress us. So it's really like, okay, it's even more, makes it more interesting uh, how that's gonna turn out, man. How we reading it? Okay, well, we'll just keep reading. I don't want to give any spoilers. When I went out there to make league with them, and then ultimately we were getting oppressed by these Grecians. All right, and Judas sent them up there that the Romans would help take that yoke off from of them, man. All right, it says so he sent them, and it said it was a long journey into Rome. All right, and they spoke to the Romans. It says Judas Maccabeus with his brethren. Verse 20, Judas Maccabeus with his brethren and the people of the Jews have sent us unto you to make a confederacy and peace with you, and that we might be registered your confederates and friends. So that matter pleased the Romans well. And this is the copy of the epistle which the Senate wrote back again in tables of brass, and sent to Jerusalem, that there they might have by them a memorial of peace and confederacy. Good success be to the Romans and to the people of the Jews, by sea and by land forever. The sword also and enemy be far from them. If there come first any war upon the Romans or any of their confederates throughout all their dominion, the people of the Jews shall help them, as the time shall be appointed with all their heart. Neither shall they give anything unto them that make war upon them, or aid them victuals, weapons, money, or ships, as it hath seemed good unto the Romans. But they shall keep their covenants without taking anything thereof. So this is really crafty. You think about it. Okay, logically it makes sense, but man, you think about this right now, of how it plays out today, and in today's society, man, with America, living just like under these guidelines, where they make agreements, and that's the agreements. It's like, bro, if anybody come against us, you need to be ready to come and be on our side, and you can't help them. You can't help them with money or ships or anything seeming good into Romans. So like, even if you, first of all, you can't help them. Then if they did need some type of minor help, you got to hit the Romans up and say, hey man, this is what they asked me for. Is that okay with you? Can I, you know what I mean? It's like you trying to foolproof something. I mean, hey man, it's just the trickery that goes into it if you think about it, man. All right, because right now, like I said, with Taiwan and Ukraine that are in cahoots with America. Taiwan is not able to help anybody, or Ukraine is not able to help anybody, and they're supposed to keep in contact with America, letting them know this, that, and the third. That's just how it goes, man. All right, but on the flip side, America's supposed to help them, so that's why you see American, sending money to Ukraine. You see American, sending all those weaponry to Taiwan, because that's part of the agreement, right? And they get you on this agreement, no matter how many enemies it come up, that you make. That's just a you are in this agreement, and you better hold fast to it. All right, it's what you are supposed to do this throughout all their dominion. So as long as America's in rulership, this is what you're supposed to be doing, man. All right, which is it's how the Heavenly Father has wrote it out to play, man. All right, because all these people that are make league and join with them is going to see that America is not worth the trouble. All right. That goes into what, as a side note, going into the beast shall hate the whore, man. Those that are Confederate and join against them, man, they're eventually going to hate them, man. All right. Because here it is. Uh, they are getting these other countries and biting off way too much than they can handle, man. All right. So anyways, man, let me finish these two verses, man. All right. It says, verse 28, neither shall victuals be given unto them that, wait, hold on. Oh, sorry, I skipped the two verses. Oh yeah, so it says, um, neither shall they give anything unto them that make war upon them, or aid them with victuals, weapons, money, or ships, as it hath seemed good unto the Romans. But they shall keep their covenants without taking anything thereof. In the same manner also, if war come first upon the nation of the Jews, the Romans shall help them with all their heart, according as the time shall be appointed them. Neither shall victuals be given to them that take part against them, or weapons, or money, or ships, as it hath seemed good to the Romans, but they shall keep their covenants and that without deceit. According to these articles, did the Romans make a covenant with the people of the Jews. So that agreement has been made play going into the story, man. All right, so now you're like, okay, how is this gonna play out? Well, then you gotta stay tuned, man. All right, if you don't stay tuned, just read it for yourself, man. All right, let me see what else I got on here. Mm. So also the agreement you can't add or take away unless it's agreed upon. All right, so once you agree upon those things, you can maybe my bad, I'm gonna change it. You can't do that, man. Let it be agreed upon. Um, And that's touching. Let me read verse 31, because this is going to Demetrius, which is the son of I always get his name, Lucius. So I keep forgetting his father's name. Let me grab it real quick. Oh, Seleucus. Okay, all right. So Demetrius is the son of Seleucus. So going back to 31, it says, and as touching the evils that Demetrius doeth to the Jews, we have written unto him, saying, wherefore thou made thy yoke heavy upon our friends and confederates the Jews. If therefore they complain any more against thee, we will do them justice and fight with thee by sea and by land. So that you seeing how it's playing out. So like, okay, this is getting interesting, all right? So we'll see how it play out, and we'll continue on. So they went to those Romans and saying, hey, these Grecians has been putting that heavy yoke upon us. We can use some assistance. So you have Rome write to Demetrius, let him know, bro. Hey, the Jews has made an agreement with us, and they are now our friends, man. Right? If we get one more complaining about you, man, hey, you have to deal with us, man. So we'll leave it at that for right now. We'll continue on. All right, Shalom.